Uh-oh. Ah, ah, ah. Uh-oh.
Does everybody know what time it is?
Home and podcast time.
Well, that's right. Binford Tools is proud to present a Home Improvement Podcast. My name is Adam. You'll know my co-host, Jordan. Jordan, long time no speak.
No speak. This is a great day to be back talking with you. Mm-hmm. Maybe not like a great thing to talk about, but to talk to you.
Don't tip your hat too early. I'm excited to talk to you and to talk about this. So I'll just be frank.
Okay. All right. Are you gonna bring the heat?
Yeah. Is that something from the show? Is that like a tagline?
It's the name of the episode.
Oh, I didn't even get that. Bring the heat. You know, that could be the name of every episode of Assembly Required if they wanted it to be.
Probably, yeah. I was looking at some of the episode titles, and yeah, you could put that anywhere.
And this, of course, we are now pivoting into an Assembly Required only podcast, so we'll be back with weekly episodic recaps on this show.
You know, Adam, I was thinking, I've been watching a lot of the original Pokemon series with my daughter.
Okay.
I think we should do Got 'em, Watch 'em All, or something like that. Some sort of watch all the old Pokemon episodes.
It'd have to be Potta, watch them all, because you have to have Pod in there. I think that sounds like a great thing for you and your daughter to do, like a father-daughter podcast.
I'd love to hear what she has to say. She'd be all about Jigglypuff and Charmander.
You know, I was down there a couple months ago at this point visiting you, and you know, your daughter, she's got a lot of charisma, a lot of spunk, so I think she could do some things on the microphone.
I think she definitely could say some things.
She could
whether
definitely
they would be
say some
coherent
things,
or not.
Yeah, for sure.
That's to be seen. But she did ask me, "Are you doing your podcast today?"
Yes.
So she's aware that it's a thing that I've been doing for years.
Well, probably all the kids at daycare ask her about it. You know,
every week at Sunday school. They're always talking about it. They're always like, "Home and podcast. Did you hear the latest episode?"
A lot of people in your church kind of look at you like a minor celebrity as a result.
Yeah, I can't tell you how many podcasting opportunities I've had to turn down.
Yeah, I don't doubt it. I mean, most of them have been from me, but
well, the ones you tell me to do are terrible.
Oh well. Hey, you know, it's great to be on here on the microphone with you talking about a Tim Allen property that isn't Home Improvement, but really, I'm glad it's not Last Man Standing.
Yeah. I hope we never cover one more episode of that, which I think we have a choice, so we probably won't.
We actually do have a choice in that. Yeah, we don't have to. And Last Man Standing's over now, so they're not going to be doing anymore. So
there's really no reason for us to go back.
And I think the world's a better place as a result of that. I'll just say it.
It can free up Tim for some different creative pursuits. So
yeah,
I think that's good.
For sure. All right, well, today we're talking, what is it, Jordan?
Assembly Required. Specifically the pilot episode, which is Bring the Heat. This one's got a 7.5 out of 10 on IMDb. 29
that's
reviews.
Higher than almost every episode of Home Improvement.
Yeah. Well, I don't think there was one review. Nobody had written a synopsis, so
Explorer
we've got an opportunity.
DS got in there and left one. Yeah.
We've got an opportunity to go in there and write something if we want. So this is the debut episode, obviously.
Yeah.
Aired February. I saw 21st and 23rd in multiple places. But
Two-parter? How did that work?
No, I don't think it was a two-parter. I just think there's only like a Wikipedia draft for Assembly Required, so
Another opportunity.
Dates are a little fuzzy.
You know, I really think this is a chance to rebrand ourselves as the Assembly Required guys. Pod Assembly Required? Is that anything?
Assembly Podquired.
Like that better, yeah.
This has 10 episodes in season 1, so they went from February to April.
In April.
She is? Did you know she's a do-it-yourself YouTube star?
I'm not surprised to hear that. But sorry, carry on. I'll stop interrupting.
That's okay. I mean, I don't have much else to say besides that, because they're really, I mean...
You said 10 episodes for the season?
10 episodes. The last one was aired in April. Mm-hmm. I haven't seen anything... I didn't do a ton of
It has not been renewed as of
renewed.
today. Yeah, I did a little cursory search, and it has not been renewed yet. I mean, I'm not going to say what I thought of it until the very end. So we'll
I will tell you this. Randomly one day, I must have had time in my hands. I don't know why else this would happen, but I saw this was on.
Okay.
And I turned it on, and I caught, like, the second half of the episode. So I got to watch the first half of the episode this time around.
So you'd seen a little before.
I saw a little bit before. I tried to hide my excitement when you said you wanted to do assembly required, you know.
You
I know
were
it was
sort
coming.
of being deceitful and not telling me that, it's so funny, Jordan. I'm looking right across the street here at the other apartment complex, and there's a guy on his balcony smoking a big bowl, marijuana bowl. Just big
Wow.
puffs. So, you don't get to see that every day.
You don't? No.
Yeah.
That's good. I'm glad you brought it up.
He came out, took 2 big inhalations, and then put it down and walked back inside. And now he's going to go about his day. So there you go.
Do you remember, wasn't there some person who walked by your apartment before?
She had luggage and she was posing for pictures.
Oh, yes, and we wondered about her Instagram status.
Yeah.
You think this guy's on Insta?
I mean, he's definitely on Insta. I don't know. I tell you what, a city living. Am I right or am I right?
Popman420?
Popman do? Is that anything? No. All right. I gotta stop. Yeah, assembly required, 10 episode
This
season.
is on History Channel.
That's interesting. I don't think I've ever watched anything on History Channel, so I don't know what kind of original programming.
You've never watched History Channel ever?
I don't think really, no. I can't think of what it would have been.
Wow. Okay, I used to love the History Channel when I was a kid.
Okay. Like what?
So they used
what
to-
shows?
Well, they used to actually do history. Now they do things like Assembly Required and Ancient Aliens.
Because history is boring, and
Right.
and assembly required is not.
Rocks. It rocks. So they used to have like a show about the presidents. They had some stuff about, like America's history and history in general. So I'd always, around July 4th, they'd tee those up. But, now I think they do a lot of like, Pawn Stars. The Curse of Oak Island, I think, is a popular show that they have. I just mentioned Ancient Aliens was very popular, which is, if you've ever watched that, maybe that's what our next
I remember we
podcast
talked
should be.
about that real early on in our podcast run.
Man, it's a wild show.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's the kind of stuff they play now. So I don't know what happened to History Channel, but it changed.
We
That's
got
all I
an
can
update
say.
on the porch stuff across the way. There's now 3 people out there, and they're kind of
Whoa.
they're kind of passing it back and forth. So I think they might run out. But we'll
Are
see.
you trying to get invited? Like, you opening your window, you're like waving them down.
I'm waving my arms. I don't know.
You better go get your flares, man.
I'm gonna have to pull my my little screen here down. Otherwise, it's gonna be distracting for me because it's just too much.
Yeah, you really got to focus on bringing the heat. So
Yeah, we only do one of these every 4 or 5 months. So this needs to be top notch. Otherwise, we'll lose subscribers. Or I've heard that Apple has changed it to followers. You know anything about this?
I don't know much.
You hear about the thing Apple doing?
I'll tell you what, Assembly Required could have used a Jay Leno appearance.
We'll get there. If it gets a second season, we'll get there.
He's on there. Yeah, I have not kept abreast of podcasting stuff. So you probably know more than me because you're putting out a killer writing podcast
Oh, thanks very much.
almost every week or something. So
It's actually every 2 weeks.
bi-weekly. That's right.
Yeah, and I appreciate your compliment, Jordan. You were the first guest. I've recorded 5 to date, so and I think 3 have come out. So the Last Writing Podcast. Go ahead and rate and review, subscribe, follow. Just really tweet. Just really get your rocks off. Listen to that. It's the exact opposite of this.
So you catch both ends of the spectrum. That's perfect. Every episode, this is an hour-long episode or hour-long.
I was a little
TV
surprised
show.
by that. And I in my mind,
You
it was
thought they
going to
could
be.
whittle it down to half hour.
Yeah, I think they ultimately probably could. I also just expected it to be a half hour.
Yeah. Once I learned that there were 2 challenges, I knew for sure it was an hour-long thing. But
Well,
yeah,
that
if
second
they did
challenge drags out a little bit.
I'm not going to argue with you here. I'm just
Yeah,
telling you.
all right.
It's 42 minutes and you're stuck with it. I'll just give it a little synopsis of the show, and then we can... I mean, we have taglines, so we better get into them.
Yeah, we have taglines.
All right, so on each episode, 3 do-it-yourself experts undertake 2 rounds of building challenges with $5,000 at stake. This is my favorite part. Prior to the second round, April secretly sabotages a key item in the kits.
Okay. See, I'm glad that you told me that because I didn't know that was an every episode occurrence.
Oh, you thought they would just do it once?
She's a real Andrew Bernard saboteur, I guess you might say.
That is my favorite part of the show, easily.
That's dumbest part. That's so stupid. So dumb. I thought that it was just an interesting kind of quirky thing they were doing this episode, but they do it every episode. Wow.
Well, yeah. I mean, they can't do it for season 2 because now everybody knows to look for something, right?
Yeah, what are they going to do for season 2? She's going to, like, I don't know.
She's going to accidentally not include an item
Yeah,
in the box.
They have to go to Ace Hardware and buy it. They built that into the challenge.
And then they have to, like, they have to find it in a salvage yard or something. I don't know. Something stupid.
Yeah, they have to make the part themselves.
Right. So, they have to build something. And then Tim and Richard, they test it out live, which I think is nice because everything else is pretty virtual. So it's nice that they get their hands on something.
Do you think that this was always planned to be virtual, or did COVID force them to kind of pivot? I guess it would probably always was going to be like this.
You think so? I mean, it is interesting because
How
they make
else would
them
they do
it
it?
in their own maker place, and they give them like 5 days.
Yeah.
I think it would be more interesting if they had to do it in person, though.
Likewise, you get real, because the actual interactions and back and forth between the contestants and I mean, I'm just going to say Tim and Al, probably the whole episode. Richard and Tim is a little, I'll say contrived a little bit. Like, you can just tell that it's very staged, I would say, and like you can tell that things aren't exactly happening at the same time. It just feels a little bit manufactured, maybe. But yeah, I don't know. It's interesting. It is a good. I guess they lucked out in terms of COVID stuff if they did have it planned this way, because it would have been, an easy pivot.
Yeah, I also kind of think it's weird that they get to like use their own workshop, and I don't know. It's home field advantage for everybody. I know, it's weird.
It's true.
I would like to level the playing field. Everybody gets in a big workshop where they have stuff. I don't know.
Okay.
I think that's how every other show like this works, but what are you going to do?
Hey, every other show is not assembly required, just an FYI.
Yeah, this is one of one, for sure.
This is a Bill Simmons 1 of 1. I got say 1, 2, 3. I have 6 taglines.
Like I told you, I had 3 for the show and then 3 for the episode. So I'm going to do the show ones first, and then we can go to you.
I can't get over the sabotage aspect of the show. That is so stupid. Okay.
All right. My first one is assembly required. Let's talk shop.
Okay. Is that a reference to anything?
I mean, workshop.
Let's talk shop. Okay.
I don't know.
Yeah,
Seems like a popular phrase.
Yeah. All right. I'll go. And mine are all in relation to the episode that we watched.
So it's going to be a little different.
Yeah, a little different. Hey, variety is the spice of life. All right, first one. That is one Class A fire extinguisher.
One nice piece of A. All right. My second one is Battle of the Tools.
Yeah. Good.
Right down the middle.
Little generic.
Right down the middle.
All right, how about this? A prostate of mind.
Okay.
I think there's a prostate joke somewhere in the episode.
Yeah, I think Karn man burned Tim on that. That was probably the best joke there was in the whole episode.
I agree. And there were a lot of jokes.
A lot of attempts.
Yeah.
That's for certain. My last one is obviously an homage to Home Improvement, The Man's Game Show.
I like that. All right. I'll do this one. Long hair do care. Because Tim is really bothered by that guy's long hair.
He really
mentions
is.
it 4 or 5 times.
Yeah, you should look at old pictures of him in the 90s where he was rocking this mullet.
Yeah, or the cocaine.
Or the really old one.
cocaine
Yeah.
airport
I mean, I didn't
days.
want to. I thought we weren't supposed to talk about that, Adam.
Yeah, we're never getting him on, so I feel content bringing it up. But
All right. I got here's my episode ones, or the first of my episode ones. How about A Spark of Genius?
I like that. Okay. How about this? Leave me alone. I don't know.
This is similar, I think.
Yeah.
These tools are worth melting for.
Walk me through that.
It's mostly a Frozen joke, but they they do melt things with their tools. So.
What Frozen 1, 2, 3? Which one? Is there a 3? There will be.
Frozen 5. I actually don't know if there's going to be 3. It's definitely in the first one. They might make a reference, a similar joke in the second one.
You probably wish we were talking about Falcon the Winter Soldier or something on here.
I could talk about Loki. Falcon and Winter Soldier, a little uneven. That's what I'm going to say.
Julia Louis-Dreyfus was in it, though, right?
Short, yeah, not for long.
Yeah, but that's exciting. All right.
The only thing that'll make you
the
watch
only
the
way I would
show.
watch it. If Michael Richards Kramer shows up or something. All right.
That'd be
wild.
interesting.
All right, two more. I'm gonna save my weird one. I'll save my really weird one for the end. Okay, more power, less personality. Guys are a little dull.
Yeah.
The contestants a little dull. Yeah.
Last one for me. Blowing more than smoke.
That's good. That's the best one. Okay, this one is not gonna make. Okay, I guess I'll just have to say it. But someone says something in the episode that doesn't quite make sense, and this is a reference to that.
Okay.
Freeze. This is a trick up. Okay, so I don't know if I should explain it now or later. Should I explain it now or should I wait until we get to
Yeah,
that
I think
point
this
in the-
is. Everyone has to listen to figure out what you're talking about.
I'll
so
save it.
save it for down the
this
road.
makes sense. So those are my taglines.
All right. So
I'd love to kick us off.
please. You said
Okay.
you have copious amounts of notes.
I took a lot of notes. Yeah. Why? I don't know. I guess it just
It's been a while.
was in the
That's
mood.
why.
So this show is called Assembly Required, not Some Assembly Required.
Ooh, had a lot of problems with Googling.
Yes. Some Assembly Required is a show from 2014 that is about a teenage boy. I'll just read you the synopsis. A teenage boy wins a toy company in a lawsuit after his house is destroyed by a defective toy. He hires kids from his high school to help him run the company. This was on something called YTV, and it has a 3.7 out of 10 on IMDb. So
It sounds like it should have a 3.7 out of 10.
yeah. So that was some confusion there. Obviously, you experienced something similar, and I had to pay for this episode $1.99.
Ooh,
so I'm starting.
Not worth it, maybe?
I'm starting a GoFundMe. So if anybody wants to chip in, I'll put the link in the show notes.
Wait, does that mean you could watch this episode at any time now?
I do own it, in fact. So when I want to revisit it tonight, tomorrow, day after tomorrow.
Because if I stop my Sling subscription, I don't have access to this episode.
Well, hey, I'll give you my login. No problem.
Okay. All right, I was worried.
Okay. Those were my two things kind of off the bat. Those are my two really good jokes I had to start off the episode. All right. So the show starts with some, what I would categorize as knockoff Home Improvement music.
That's good. Yeah, that's fair.
It was close, but it wasn't quite there.
I wish they would have tried to replicate the intro, like the animations and stuff.
Well, this was my thought early on, and I kind of got this vibe in the very beginning of the show, and I was proven right. They can't say Home Improvement.
Yeah, I'm sure they can.
They can't say Home Improvement, which is kind of a bummer because it's the only reason you get these two guys together. And you can't actually say why they're together. You just have to sort of assume the audience knows. And I'm guessing most of the audience does know, but it would
be really funny if you didn't.
It would be so much better if they could
just do a bunch of those.
Yeah, if they could reference it, he can, I'm sure he can wear flannel. It's probably not like a proprietary thing, but if, they're
You would think they could pull off the word home improvement though, because it's
vague.
it's like Kleenex almost, you lose it's just used so much for the tissue that
true.
It's a synonym.
Yeah, I mean, imagine the show with some Home Improvement clips. You got them wearing their old stuff. You're getting some more lines of old dialogue. I think it works better, frankly. But
at least for us.
At least for us, probably. But yeah, it must be they can't do that. So, so we start off the episode with Tim's wearing like a French helmet, and I thought for sure he was going to just start ragging on the French.
I think maybe there's some outtakes where
I wonder that as well.
Because it seems like Karn Man tried to rein him in real quick.
The French came off kind of scot-free on that, and I was a little worried about where that was going.
I felt like the whole episode I was a little worried where Tim was going to go, and
well, particularly with one of the contestants, yeah,
and Karn Man just seems
he's loving it.
More suited for this. He hosted Family Feud for years, so
You're right.
maybe he's more comfortable with this type of environment.
Yeah, you're right. That's a good note. Yeah, Karn Man is better. He seems to use his voice better. Like Tim is like yelling the whole time, just like kind of shouting.
Yeah, like when you hold up a phone to your ear,
kind of
and you
like
just
that.
start
Yeah.
talking really loud.
Yeah. Whereas Karn is a little more measured, and yeah, I think you're right. Probably more suited for this, but hey, you got to get the star in there.
Naturally, They had lots of lines for Tim, or I think maybe they just kind of let him go for a little bit, and then they.
I bet the outtakes.
Heck of an editing job.
I bet the outtakes of the show are obnoxious. I bet there's so much they can't use because it's just so stupid.
I was also thinking Carmen looked really good.
He does look good. He's slim.
Yeah, he definitely lost some weight.
Yeah. When I saw him up in Midland a couple years ago, I told him like kind of what had worked for me in terms of dieting, and he seemed to really take it to heart. So,
well, it's good. It's good that you guys had time to talk about that because when you relayed that story to me, it seems like he wasn't really interested in it.
I don't know. Proof's in the pudding, my boy. All right. Yeah. So you said the structure of the show, but you got 3 makers, builders.
Yeah.
I think I call them maker.
I like how unfamiliar you are with maker culture.
Maker culture is definitely a new one for me. Yeah, this was foreign to me, but they need to build things using the materials that they are sent from the show, and it's all remote, and they have to like build certain things, and then Karn and Tim are gonna say which one's better. And then there's April as well. We'll get to April.
I honestly didn't think she was going to be on the show.
Forgot
I just thought it was
about
going to
her.
be them. Yeah, it was just going to be those two, and she just kind of pops up like, "Hey."
In the beginning of the episode, when they're like doing their introductions, Tim Allen has to say that Richard Karn is his ride or die, which is definitely something that was written for him. I assure you.
I don't know. I think he probably learned it on Last Man Standing and brought it over. It was like one of those things. He's like, "I'm gonna definitely use this later. You wait."
Some 29-year-old person on the writing staff was like, "Yeah, I'm definitely gonna put ride or die into this episode." It's like that seemed about his dad. It seemed very unnatural for him to say.
Well, he almost was kind of winking while he was saying it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he's like doing like the barf gesture. He's like, I hate that I have to say this. We get some more power and grunts kind of throughout
Lots of
the
grunts,
episode.
I felt like. Yeah.
Enjoyed that. I mean, I think it's important.
It was good.
It's important. Guess how many times he says no, more power, not no power. He doesn't say no power any times. How many times do you think he says more power in the episode?
I'd say 4, just under 5.
3,
Okay.
by my count. Maybe
Yeah.
I might have missed one.
That seemed right. Yeah, he definitely used it more than once. I was trying to think of like any others that came up, but I really heard, maybe you'll know more. I heard more power. I heard the grunts. I didn't hear any I don't think so Tims. I didn't hear anything like that.
No, Karn is not really leaning into the Al character much.
He's outgrown it.
He's outgrown it. Well, he probably figures who do you think knows more about building, Karn or Tim?
I think Tim thinks he knows more.
Yeah, but who actually knows more?
I feel like they know different things, and
Okay.
I think Karn probably knows more, though.
Yeah, that's my kind of opinion as well.
Yeah.
Of the many weird jokes in this episode, there was a badminton face joke early on. I think Karn says you get your game face on, and Tim says you have a badminton face.
Yeah, he said it's not like a real game or something.
Yeah, what was that?
Which, you know what? I mean, he's going to get canceled by the badminton community.
He will get canceled, and you know what? He's been
been
canceled.
walking on thin
He's been
ice.
canceled before, but this might be the thing that kind of ends it for him. Frankly,
The man who can't be canceled.
yeah, that sounds. Yeah, that's my next buck. Yeah, the badminton community is going to be outraged. Badminton Twitter, oh, don't even look at it.
Man, yeah. Trying to think of like what comes before they get. It seems like they kind of hop into the.
Yeah,
the
the next
first
thing for
challenge
me is that
pretty
we meet the guys. You know, we get our
Yeah, and they give everybody the story, right? So
Yes.
I don't remember all their names, but I feel like Alex is the ex-Marine from Argentina who now lives in
Yeah.
South Carolina.
I believe the long-haired fellow is named Sean.
Sounds right.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember his history, but yeah,
He's like an artiste.
Yeah, he's a spark of genius.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I'm trying to read it here. It's like the thing where he laughs so much. Oh,
What did I say?
I was noticing a thing.
Jesse's the third one, I should say, as well.
Jesse, they're relatively bland, as I noted in my tagline. More power, less personality. I felt like early on there was, and probably throughout the episode, maybe I just got used to it, there was a thing where Karn's laughter didn't necessarily sync up with the jokes being told by Tim. And I don't mean actually sync up. Like, I just mean he was finding it funnier than it actually was.
Oh, okay. I thought there was an editing issue.
No, I mean, probably. But, like, it just seemed to be a thing where he would just cackle at relatively lame statements.
Yeah, well, you know what? Some people have told me that's how I am around you, so...
Knew that was coming. Walked into that.
Yikes. So what's the first challenge, Adam? What do we start with?
Well,
You don't
that's a
remember?
good question. I believe it is related to a
extinguisher.
fire... Well, it's a Class A fire extinguisher. Yeah.
There's only 2.
Yeah.
And that one was just buried deep in your head. Yeah, so we work on the Class A fire extinguisher. So they get, like, boxes sent to their house, basically, with, like, compressors and all this kind of stuff. Not only do they have to make a Class A fire extinguisher out of the things in their box and the thing in their workshop, they have to make a backpack for it, which no one really makes.
That's strange.
Backpack is a loose term here.
Yeah, in that it can just, like, strap... It looked like a Ghostbusters kind of thing, a little bit.
One person, like, put it on a plastic, almost like giant cutting board.
Yeah.
And everybody else just kind of put straps on it, and that's it. So,
Yeah, I would say the backpack aspect was an afterthought.
Yeah. They just wanted to add something a little bit of a curveball, but no one really...
I was pretty peeved at one point early on here. A little cheesed, if you catch my drift.
Tell me what was rubbing you the wrong way.
I was a little irked by the fact that, early on in the episode we get a little bit of a graphic at the bottom that says Tim Allen, Richard Karn. And underneath Tim Allen it says Tim Allen from Last Man Standing. Come on.
Oh.
On this show, you're pairing him up with Karn and you're going to use that? Come on.
What did it say under Karn? Did it say from Family Feud?
I don't know that it said anything.
Oh, that's despicable.
I might be wrong on that. Maybe I didn't notice, but it definitely from Tim said Last Man Standing. Is he more known for Last Man Standing at this point than Home Improvement? Because if so, that makes me sick.
What have you done for me lately?
I
type
guess.
of thing, but yeah, that's sad.
I didn't like it.
Maybe if there wasn't the controversy of like canceling it and then putting it back on, maybe it would be less.
I guess it just ended or whatever, but I don't
Infamous.
know. It bugged me. Also, want to note that I did. There's a cool Woodward Avenue sign on set,
I did see that.
Yeah.
I was trying to take note of some of the signs,
Yeah.
but yeah, Woodward Avenue was a pretty cool
which
sign.
is a Detroit street. So
I can't believe there was no like Detroit Lions shirt. Or...
they don't want to pay the money. I'm guessing. I really,
Yeah, I
I
guess
really
that's
think they're
true.
trying to keep costs down on this bad boy.
I think you can tell.
Yeah. How do you think that that manifested?
Well, I mean, first of all, everything's virtual, so
Yeah.
they're just like shipping everything to everybody's house and then putting them on like webcams. I also noticed that like the 3 different feeds from the people, like the contestants, were like one of them was pretty grainy and the other 2 had decent ones. So I thought that was kind of funny.
Are they forcing these guys to use their own cameras?
They're definitely forcing them to use Google whatever.
I saw that. That was the whatever Google version of.
Hey Google, who invented the fire extinguisher?
Yeah,
or
that
whatever.
was stupid. Yeah, that was really stupid.
Tough.
So they're using the barometer of quality, design, and functionality for this Class A fire extinguisher and backpack.
And 2 experts in Tim and Al who know all about quality, design, and functionality.
And this is when April shows up.
Thank God, we needed somebody who knew what they were doing.
I tell you what, April. What's your opinion on her?
I actually thought I could have used more of her.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, I felt like, well, I don't know, it's tough. Like
For a YouTuber, I felt like she wasn't very good in front of the camera.
I felt like she was.
She's knowledgeable. She's definitely more
Yes.
knowledgeable than them. But I don't know. She didn't seem very. And maybe you're going against actual actors who are able to maybe turn on the charm. But she, I don't know, kind of wooden. I would say.
Is that a pun?
I wasn't trying to be, but yeah, I suppose inadvertently.
Okay, so I guess I liked April more than you, but I don't know. I just felt like
She's
I needed something.
underutilized. It's weird. Like she just like kind
Yeah.
of pops in a couple times. I thought she was gonna, because I knew that was the 3 of them. I'd seen that on the promotions or something. So,
Yeah.
But I assumed they were gonna be all 3 together the whole show. I
Yeah,
guess
she
she's
just,
fulfilling like a Heidi Lisa kind of function.
Yeah, she comes in for 5 minutes and then bounces.
It'd be funny if they tried to do an actual Heidi or Lisa thing with someone like in a big. Oh God, that would be. People would not like that.
Why
Get
didn't
Debbie
Debbie
Dunning.
Dunning? Yeah, why didn't she come back?
don't know, because she doesn't know enough about tools. Because you already have two guys that don't really know what they're talking about. You want to add
gotta
a third.
have one expert on the show.
That's true.
Yeah. So she kind of talks about fire extinguishers and whatever. They do the challenge. Not a lot of drama with the first challenge.
That one guy
the drama is the guy
drilled.
It was not an accident. He did it on purpose.
Yeah, but they were nervous.
They were very nervous. He drilled an extra hole, and they were worried about the compressed air not being able to be sealed. But turns out...
I feel like there is just a producer behind the scenes telling Tim and Richard, like, what to say. Like, explain to them why that's a problem. / maybe it's April.
Probably April. I don't think you're wrong about that. I think there are probably some things that they'll know more about. Like, I think they probably knew more about, like, the spark plug stuff.
Yeah, right, because Tim works
Because that's a thing, that's a thing that would happen on cars as well. But, I think for fire extinguishers, maybe a little bit out of their lane. So.
Did you see the Pirate Burger sign?
What's a Pirate Burger?
I don't know. That's what I was going to ask you.
All right.
There's a big sign for something called Pirate Burger. I don't know. Is that a Detroit thing? I don't know. I'm not familiar.
I think if anyone knows, write into the podcast.
Maybe that's April's favorite restaurant. I don't know.
I'd eat there.
Yeah. There's probably a couple chains of Pirate Burgers down by you in Kissimmee.
They wouldn't step foot in St. Cloud.
That's true. Yeah, that wouldn't last. This is where we get the flow to your water joke that we mentioned earlier, where Karn just royally roasts Tim.
Yeah, you should timestamp that one because it was worth it.
It was good. It was easily the best joke of the episode, and of course it comes from Karn because like Tim is trying so hard to be funny the whole episode, and it just isn't super effective. Whereas Karn is just kind of taking it all in. So
yeah, he doesn't make a lot of jokes, but man. He's got a 100%
high
hit
batting
rate.
average, yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Jesse gets sent home because he has a weak flow on his fire extinguisher, and he just really can't hit the candle that they have set up.
Yeah. Well, the problem was he had too much of like the water coming out initially, so it wasn't able to be propelled very far.
I know. Yeah, and this is just me really in my element talking about this stuff. Obviously,
both of us. I think.
Yeah, this is really good. We're about as qualified as Richard and Tim. No, I'm just kidding. They're both.
Jesse
qualified.
Wasn't real sad to
Jesse
leave. I don't think
was. Yeah, when I say no personality, I guess I really mean Jesse because you barely get him to speak up loud enough to be heard.
I gotta say though, like. All you're gonna win is $5,000.
That's the big problem. You take into account taxes. We're talking like probably $2,500, $3,000. That's nothing.
Yeah, this is not worth all the effort. I don't think.
Tim Allen made like $30 million for the last season of Last Man Standing. Kick in some of your own capital. $5,000. Jeez, you're not gonna attract any talent that way.
No.
Jeez.
No. I guess it's all about. The brand recognition.
Yeah,
winning.
I think this will be big for these guys' careers for sure. Yeah.
If you can remember who they are.
Yeah, this will be great. Next challenge. So what did you think overall on the fire extinguisher challenge? Did it do much for you?
I think it was really funny that they had him blow out a candle.
Yeah, but like a Beauty and the Beast candle.
The really long way.
Yeah.
Oh man, they were like the people from legal are like, all right, we can't have them start a fire. So light a candle. That'll cover our butts.
Light a candle and step 10 feet back. If I were these guys, I'd be cheating. Like there's a lot of ways to cheat if somebody's not watching you. I'd go 8 feet instead of 10.
For all of the like sending the stuff to their house, there's definitely like an on-person cameraman there.
There has to be, yeah.
Or on premise, I should say.
And on person as well, yeah.
On person.
All right, so the next challenge I viewed as a major step up from the first one.
Definitely.
I kind of enjoyed this challenge, I'll be honest.
Yeah, there was an appetizer, and this was definitely the entree.
And I'll let you go ahead and explain the challenge.
So the challenge is they get all these parts together, and they got to turn a leaf blower into kind of an all-weather experience. So it's got to be able to melt ice. It's got to be able to blow some leaves around, and I guess that's about it. Yeah. But this is where we get the curveball of April doing some chicanery and introducing a sabotage.
Saboteur. I really thought she was just being playful this first episode. I had no idea this was going to be a continued thing. Well, this is where, I finally get the opportunity to explain my alternative title. So when she talks about the sabotage, She says to Tim and Richard, she says, "Yeah, I threw these guys a little bit of a trick up."
Oh, you know what? You're
I
right.
think she meant switch up or something, or she switched things up. But she said, "I threw these guys a little bit of a trick up." That doesn't mean anything. That's not a thing people say.
I mean, on the YouTube sphere, it's
Is trick up like a big? It's like K-pop or something.
you just
big
hashtag trick up is like on every video.
trick up. I just thought that was the moment I was like, she's not. Also, why not give her another opportunity to say that the right way? to say something that makes sense.
How sure are you they didn't do everything in one take?
I guess I'm not. Yeah, I guess this would be evidence that they were kind of rushing through this.
You think Tim and Richard really wanted to spend a lot of their COVID time doing this?
I don't know what else they got going on. I mean, I know Tim does. But yeah, a trick up. So, April had a trick up her sleeve. She didn't even say that, but it was interesting. All right, so into the challenge.
They get 5 days to
yeah.
They get a giant box, which didn't seem utilized in space. So these are definitely not Amazon boxes.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a bunch of stuff in there. They can use stuff from their shop again, and they have to make this thing, and they have 5 days to do it.
Would she take out a spark plug or something?
She did something with the gap on a spark plug.
Okay.
So, this is where, again, we're really in our element. We know exactly what we're talking about with gaps and spark plugs.
Well, I don't know if you knew this, but with a spark plug, you can, if you lose it, you can just make one out of cardboard.
That was a gasket, man.
Oh, well. I guess I better rewatch this now that I own it.
You don't worry, you'll have time. That's another part of the show that I'm guessing they probably do every episode. Like, April comes out and gives a handy trick.
Yeah.
Which seemed kind of weird because it was just like, hey,
she's
Tim
giving
and
a trick up.
Well, this is separate. This is
different
this is
thing?
not the trick up. She comes out
it's
after
weird.
It's like after day 3 where they're like, okay, we got to break up.
Their
these
interactions with
boring
her are
dudes.
so forced, and at one point they're like, Tim's like, why don't we go see what April's doing? It's like, okay, have you guys ever heard of a transition? Come on.
So she did teach us how to make a replacement gasket.
And I've already done it 3 times today.
I think Tim said something about this was definitely a joke for people who are mechanically inclined. He was like, "I just throw them away," and April just
she shakes her head like, "Oh, I don't know if there's a joke."
Oh, Tool Man.
There's a joke later on that she says that's kind of funny. One guy discovers the trick up right away.
Oh,
and that's Sean the artiste, and the other guy is a military guy, and he's a little bit more serious, but he doesn't discover it.
Well, you know what Sean does? Right away, he takes everything out and tests it before he even starts building, just to make sure that everything works all right.
See, Tim really respected that.
Yeah, it's a very methodical and smart way to do it. And in the other case, Alex, I believe, he just kind of goes through and starts building stuff, and then as he's in process, he starts this thing, and he's completely derailed by this issue.
I learned a lesson. I'll tell you one thing about Alex, though. I think he's a little more concerned with the cosmetics of things than the actual function.
His looked good.
It did look good, but he's drinking a cup of coffee at the end, and no spoilers, but he didn't fare real well.
The tough part probably would have been like testing the heat, because he's in South Carolina. It's not like there's a lot of ice there.
Hey, everybody's got ice cubes, right?
Well, not ones that hang from a chain.
Hey, these guys are supposed to be makers. Make a chain. I found the joke when they're talking about she gives the helpful hint of how to make a gasket. Tim says, "Where'd you get that?" And she says, "Oh, I took apart the weed eater from your garage."
Burn.
And Tim's like, "Ay, ay, ay."
Oh, no.
You got April'd.
She completely redeemed herself, huh?
I didn't say that.
I won't go that far. You gotta watch episode 3 for that. I know after you bought this first episode, you're gonna buy the rest of the season, though.
Well, you can buy one episode for $2 or the whole season for $15. So deal's a deal.
Oh man. So they go through the 5 days, as you said. One person is hand making a steel plate
that's
to make his look like a dragon.
He's
everything he has looks like a dragon type of stuff.
Yeah.
Knight in shining armor, metal.
Yes.
I don't know. The other guy's very much into World War II stuff, so he makes his a B-52 bomber.
Yeah.
Very different, very unique. Both look pretty good, but we get to the point where we're on like an hour. I think they. This is where I'm sure they're checking in like an hour and a half before it ends and saying, "Hey, hour and a half."
Yeah.
Because they have like Tim and Richard like announcing. That was another weird thing that they said. They said like, we can always hear you, but you'll only hear us when we want you to.
Well, it seemed like they wanted them to all the time then.
Yeah.
You know?
That's weird.
Every time they said, I guess maybe they're saying that like they're just like general banter back and forth they can't hear, but yeah, I'm not sure the mechanics of that really make sense, but.
No, this is where it needs to be in like the same
I guess
place.
you're right, yeah. Like a Chopped.
Yes, of course. Yeah. Great British Baking Show, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So like an hour and a half before Sean has like a leak in
they try to manufacture drama in this and it doesn't really work.
Oh, you didn't buy it?
I mean, just like I don't know, who cares, I guess.
Well, you're not a maker.
That's true. I guess. I guess it. Yeah.
There was $5,000 on the line, Adam.
Yeah, that's a ton of money. I know it is. I don't know. Yeah, I just felt like it maybe didn't work real well.
Yeah,
but
stakes were not very high in the show, unfortunately. Would have been better maybe if someone caught on fire, but
yeah, maybe episode 2 that happens. I don't know.
Who knows? So he has to like redo things. You'd expect to see him sweating in the workshop a little bit. He's not.
Long hair, probably sweating a lot, according to Tim.
Yeah, he didn't really talk too much about that, but yeah, Tim like mentions his hair like 4 times to him.
It's weird.
It's weird.
And this guy is not like young. It's not like Tim like chastising a young man. Guy's probably 50.
Yeah,
it's weird.
Yeah, they're almost the same age.
Yeah, they're like peers, basically. But weird. It'd be funny if the guy just was like, you know what, man? Screw you. Doesn't happen.
So he doesn't get to test. He gets to fix his thing, but he doesn't get to test it beforehand. So we just don't know. Is it going to work or not?
And meanwhile, the other guy has been done for like days, apparently.
Yeah, like you said, he's like sipping a cup of tea.
He's sipping tea. He's painted his. It looks like something.
I like that he's like just sitting in his workshop with his apron on, just relaxing and enjoying tea.
Yeah, that felt really organic to me.
It's a boss move.
Did you notice the trophy on the desk of Tim and Richard near the end of the episode? It's basically a screw. It looks kind of phallic, but it's. I wondered if that was the old Carmen Finestra Homie Awards they used to give out.
Oh man, I wish we knew.
Because I feel like that's what it looked like. I don't know.
I did not notice it at all.
Okay, all right. Well, Easter egg for the real fans.
So our next interview with Finestra, we can ask him.
That's a guy I definitely want to talk to again.
All right, so we get to. I guess this is probably what they're working the whole show up to, right?
Yeah, it's a good part. It was good.
Yeah, so we get Tim and Richard, and they each get to test out one of these bad boys. They're together. They're out. They got somebody raked up a pile of leaves.
Them running around playing in these leaves, these 60-year-old men, was pretty silly, but I did like it.
It was kind of, and they also did like slow mo.
Yeah, it was basically like "Why Can't We Be Friends" should be playing over it, you know?
Yeah, I gotta say, while it was happening, I thought, man, these aren't that powerful of leaf blowers.
No, not nearly as powerful as like the ones you could get at Walmart. But hey, they made them. It's impressive.
That is true. Homemade. These are people. While I was like listening to this, I thought these are people I want to be friends with when the zombie apocalypse happens. You know?
Yeah, and you do expect it to pretty soon, right?
I think Tuesday is what I'm guessing.
Any day now.
Yeah. So, but anyway, yeah, they start demoing everything, and Tim has the one with the dragon look, and Richard has the B-52 looking one.
Yeah.
They kind of tie on the first one, I would say, from the looks of it.
Neither one is that impressive with the leaf blowing.
So they move on to phase 2, which is melting a giant block of ice that is hanging from a chain.
Yeah, that was weird.
Yeah, just normal stuff.
Yeah, you know, classic chain in a block of ice.
You and I are from Michigan. How many times have we seen that?
Oh, man, every winter at least once. Yeah, every winter at least once. Yeah.
So they start melting it, and one is clearly faster than the other.
Quite a bit.
Yeah, one of like the ice falls, and we see the slow motion. They do like 50 takes of that, like ching, 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 ching.
In case you missed it, yeah.
Yeah. And then they have to go back and judge. I think everyone knows who's going to win.
It's a little anticlimactic. It's like, well, obviously, if they were the same kind of throughout, the guy that blew the other guy out of the water with the heat's going to win, but, we got to do it.
But they do. They have the 3 factors like you were talking about.
Yeah.
They give 1 point to each. So the all-important 3rd point, which is functionality, I believe, and Sean wins it.
In reality, Sean should not have won for
Ingenuity.
Yeah, the other guys looked way better. The B-52 one looked way better than the scaly whatever dragon thing.
Yeah,
in my opinion,
it struck me that they weren't exactly sure what Ingenuity was.
Yeah. It seems like it's kind of like it factor. It's like whatever you want it to mean on a given day.
Yeah, whatever makes this a 1-1 tie.
Exactly right. Yeah, it probably is always a 1-1 tie. I'm guessing.
Yeah, I mean, otherwise, what's the point? What are
I'll
we
let
doing
you know
here?
when I keep watching.
Yeah, definitely keep me in the loop. You're probably going to live tweet the rest of these episodes?
Yeah, I mean, I got to find a co-host for my Assembly Pod Choir.
You're going to take my name and then find a new co-host?
Exactly right, yeah, that's exactly right.
One thing I didn't mention earlier, but when they make Jesse leave, they keep his square up for a minute when they're looking on the
And it's
virtual
just
wall.
black.
So it's just black. It says Jesse. I thought that was pretty
Yeah,
funny.
that was weird. Yeah, that was weird. And then, Sean won. He gets his 5K. Gonna probably change his life, I would imagine. And
Maybe change a light bulb. That's about it.
That's kind of it, right? Is there anything else at the end?
Yeah, they did the gasket stuff before this.
Yeah, right.
And they have an interview with the loser, Alex, and he seems upbeat about it because he probably just sold his thing for $5,000 and
Yeah,
he's fine.
yeah, right. So, yeah, I mean, and roll credits fade to black on assembly required. Can't take the heat. Is that what the name of it was?
Bring the heat.
Bring the heat. Yeah, like I said, it's kind of interchangeable.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I have some questions. I don't know. Should we answer the questions first, or do you want to give highs and lows?
Let's do highs and lows.
Okay, go ahead.
Highs. I know you don't like the saboteur stuff, but I thought that was a fun little wrinkle. The one joke that Karnman had, the prostate joke where he burned Tim. Just in general, seeing Tim and Richard together, I guess that's always a high for us. Would have liked to see it maybe be a little bit more entertaining, but
Yeah.
I think, like you said, the last thing, when I watched just the second half, when I watched it the first time, just stumbling upon it, I thought it was actually pretty entertaining. Yeah. So rewatching the first half was a little bit dull.
Yeah.
So it's a bit uneven in that kind of an episode, but yeah. Other lows. Yeah, it's tough when they're virtual. I don't like the virtual aspect of the show. Mm-hmm. I think you're gonna get this with a lot of contestants, that you see once for 10-minute increments. They're kind of wooden.
Yeah.
Personalities, not that great. Mm-hmm. I feel like they could have used a lot of graphics or something, because it felt very oh, here's a tip on gaskets that kind of came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
And there just wasn't transitions. It was just kind of really rough put together, I felt like, but that's about it for me. What do you think?
Some motorcycles going by, some wild hogs. All right, highs. I found it on the whole, I was despite the fact that I suggested we watch this, I wasn't really looking forward to watching it. But on the whole, I guess I found it more entertaining than I expected. So that this is not, we've made a lot of jokes, but this is not something that I would ever watch on my own. Nothing about this is naturally very interesting to me. So the fact that I was fairly engaged throughout, I got to give the show some credit there, especially the second challenge, which I was legitimately interested in. I think that the show should really maybe just focus on big, I don't know, the fire extinguisher thing just seemed kind of stupid. It's just kind of silly. Whereas the last one is people want to see a leaf blower turn into a flamethrower. That just sounds cooler. Yeah, and it, in fact,
I would have liked to see all three be able to do that too.
Yeah, that's true. I don't know. Maybe you stretch that out over an hour and it becomes really dull. But highs. I did ultimately find the show entertaining. On Obviously, good to see Richard and Tim together. I would say the Karn man was on his game, brought the heat. I'm always happy to see him like working and doing good stuff, not just maybe in a Lifetime movie or something. Highs, what else we got? Yeah, I mean, beyond that, I'm trying to think if there's anything else. I said the flamethrower thing. I said Richard. I think I don't mind the virtual stuff as much as you do, I guess. I see what you mean with the interactions feeling kind of faulty, but on the whole, I felt like it was relatively well done for what it is. And I give them a lot of credit if it was a COVID pivot they had to make, then I would say very impressive. If not, then maybe there's some opportunities to improve. April, she wasn't that bad. They just need to figure out what to do with her. Like, it just was sort of awkward every time she came in. So I would say that was kind of middle of the road. Lows, Tim's pretty annoying in this, unfortunately. He's just kind of yelling a lot. He is sort of trying to be mean, but it's not like really funny or effective. I just found him kind of grating, which is not the Tim Allen I like. I think that's the Tim Allen he wants you to think he is, but he seemed like he was trying really hard. I think that it is a little dull at times. Like, even though I just said like I like the second challenge more, like that is like 25 minutes of the episode, give or take. And when you're watching these guys do this stuff remotely, you can't really see what they're doing anyways. So it's just like them kind of like checking in on things and stuff. So maybe that is where the remote nature kind of fails you, because you just can't really get too far into the weeds on that. So it maybe was a little bit dull with the challenges. Obviously, figure out what you're going to do with April, and then it just wasn't really very funny, despite the fact that it felt like it was trying to be funny. I know you got a world-class comedian, so either he needs to write some better stuff or they need to write some better stuff for him. But that's kind of it. On the whole, I will say I think that I could see people enjoying this kind of show, especially if you're like a old school Home Improvement fan. I feel like it's a pretty good execution of what it's trying to be. Maybe it's not for me necessarily, but on the whole, I was pleasantly surprised, I guess.
Are you if you were to watch either, you are probably more likely to watch episode 2 of this than any more Last Man Standing.
Yeah, that's
episodes.
what I've been thinking the whole time. I would watch the whole season of this before I would watch one more episode of Last Man Standing.
Agreed.
I really mean that. Like, I would sit through another 9 episodes of this at 46 minutes, then another 22-minute episode of Last Man Standing. I think this is better than a lot of the stuff we've watched, like bonus stuff. Like, it's better than a lot of the movies and stuff. To be honest, I really, it's largely inoffensive, and it was sort of interesting at times, which is high praise for a Tim Allen non-Home Improvement entity. So
that is not what our podcast has ever been described as, unfortunately.
Yeah, well, hey, we're evolving.
Are we? I think at this point we're done.
Yeah, we're just kind of staying the same sedentary. Questions.
All right, hit me with
We kind
them.
of talked about this throughout, but what are some big things that you think would improve the show?
Well, yeah, I think you need to raise the stakes a little bit.
Yeah.
For sure. Like $5,000 is silly. Just
it does
straight
sound silly. Yeah.
Yeah, obviously I'd like to see everyone in one room. I agree. I think this was a COVID issue, but more testing of the big stuff would be more fun, of course. Trying to think of what else which would be more fun off the top of my head. Did you have anything in particular?
I mean, I just think that I don't know that they follow this format throughout, but they need to make the first challenge better. I felt like there was such a big gap between the first challenge and the second challenge. So, like, I don't know if you just...
Even the first challenge would have been more fun if the fire was bigger.
That's true. Yeah, maybe in the other episodes the first challenge is more interesting, but this one just sort of, it really just felt like little kids playing with squirt guns, sort of.
Yeah.
To me.
Can you make a high-powered squirt gun?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can do that. Watch this.
Yeah, definitely. And then, I don't know how you manufacture more drama, but they need to try. And maybe that's something you do better.
Well,
in
one
person.
episode, Tim falls over and they think he's having a heart attack.
Yeah. Oh man. But yeah, I mean, other than that, just stuff we've talked about.
You want to see Tim and Richard like take a stab at something?
That would be
making
fun.
something.
Yeah, that would be fun. Wouldn't that be good?
Yeah.
I think I would enjoy that. Yeah, like give them, or maybe like April, like instead of playing pranks with the whatever, taking something out of a box, maybe she like pranks Tim and Richard, like whoopee cushion kind of stuff. That could be good.
Oh man.
She gives Tim like a ink pen that just has a bunch of ink on the outside. I don't know. I feel like that could be anything. The show does need to be more funny. This needs to be funnier.
Yeah. You come in thinking there's going to be a little bit of comedy, and they're really
they were trying for it.
Struggled to be there.
All right, next question. What Home Improvement cast member do you think would best fit into this show? Not, and I'm talking real life persona, not who they played on the show. It's not easy. I mean, Karn is the answer, and that's why they did it. But
yeah. So you're saying besides Tim and Richard?
Yeah.
I
mean, ZTV probably would have worked, but that ain't happening now for sure.
No. I don't know. I mean, the answer is none.
I guess Debbie Dunning could have, if they wanted to go that route, they could have tried that.
Yeah, and they probably did.
They probably did. Yeah, you're right. They probably did try it. I would also say, like, give me, like, Harry or Benny, too. Just kind of putzing around in the background.
Yeah,
that could be good.
Sure.
Yeah,
for sure.
Like,
yeah.
I don't think, like PR obviously doesn't fit in and stuff.
No.
But yeah, you give me Harry or Benny. Like, hey, what about Harry or Benny on location? Okay, here's the idea. Harry, Benny, and what's Tim's brother's name? I forgot.
Marty. How could you forget?
He's in Africa. Tim, or so bad names. Marty, Benny, and Harry. Oh, they all end in Y. Marty, Benny, and Harry are all on location with the various contestants, like at their houses, and they're kind of like narrating on location. I feel like
they're like poking them and prodding them.
Yeah, I feel like that could be good.
Benny's like spilling jelly donuts everywhere.
Absolutely. Harry is like talking about Dolores, and Marty is just like perpetually unhappy with his lot.
Trying to run away from his ex-wife and kids.
He got a job at the zoo. I feel like that could be good. I think I just saved the show.
Yeah. Season 2.
Yeah. And that's my last question. Do you think this show will get a second season?
I don't, actually.
Yeah, I kind of worry about that, too.
I think, A, they're probably not even that interested in it, and B, it probably isn't doing enough for people.
Yeah, it didn't leave much of an impact, but I guess, like, I'm not in the communities where people would be talking about this, so.
I think the only way it would survive, which it never would be, if it was on, like...
YouTube or something.
Broadcast. No, broadcast.
Oh,
network.
Yeah.
Like, don't they have, like, a Lego show or something? Like, Ultimate Lego Masters? If they can't put this on there, then, yeah, it doesn't really have a chance.
History Channel, yeah, maybe a little bit too obscure. Put it on ABC, after Kimmel. I hope it gets a second season. Maybe, I don't think Tim needs more money, but I always want to see the Karn man get, a little dough in his pocket, so.
Aren't they going to be busy making the Home Improvement reboot?
They're not going to do that. I don't know. At this point, I'm done thinking about that.
Well, the longer they wait, the more people drop off. Like, ZTV probably isn't coming back for that.
Yeah, seriously. Yeah, come on. You missed the boat on that. I mean, way to go, Home Improvement. Definitely not his fault. No, obviously it is. Yeah, it's just like the longer you wait, you're right, the harder it becomes. People will die or whatever. So,
yeah.
All right. Well, on that uplifting note, do you have
people
any questions?
Will die.
Do you have any questions for me?
Questions for you?
Yeah, just about this show. Did you have any questions you want to pose about Assembly Required?
No, I mean, you asked all the possible questions there are about this show.
That's true.
What could you possibly want to know more?
I just didn't know if you had anything prepared for me to kind of answer, but
you didn't tell me to prepare questions, so
I just want you to do it on your own. I don't want to have to tell you. Jordan,
like an old married couple.
You said we wouldn't have enough to talk about, and we're about at an hour, so that's pretty good.
Turns out we're okay at this.
We're not bad when we have to be. I probably won't watch another one of these.
Yeah, but I think maybe once, if you only do one podcast every 3 months, it's just easier to vamp.
That's true. This is true. Yeah, I mean...
Otherwise, you're talking about National Donut Day every week.
Yeah, and hey, that's brand building. And that's 245 episodes later. That's where we're at. So
That's where we're at.
Yeah, I'll be curious. I don't know if people have watched this or what the feedback has been from
Did
Home
you
Improvement
tweet
fans.
that we're doing this? Or does anybody care?
I tweeted like 2 months ago that we were doing it.
People
Jordan,
just say, come back and do more.
This isn't for anybody but ourselves.
Why is it for us? Why do we do it for us?
I just thought it would be fun.
Okay. Well.
It's good to get behind the mics. Jordan, you of all people, you've been, since the podcast ended, you've definitely become more wistful about it than I have. You're always talking about how impressive it was. And
Well, you've moved on to bigger and better things, and I'm trying to follow everything in your footsteps. I joined a tennis league.
better, not bigger.
My basketball league is coming back, so I guess I'm
Yeah.
going to have things to do along with two
Yeah.
kids. But no, I definitely do miss the podcasting part of things, and it was nice to create something that is going to stand the test of time for certain.
Without a doubt. I mean, every day it just ages better and better, I'm sure.
Yeah, nobody said anything to us, so I guess it's okay.
We're pretty, hopefully, inoffensive. Always trying. What are we going to do next, Jordan? You pick.
Oh,
4 months from now.
Yeah, this is going to be a 2022 episode.
Yeah, that's fair. So let's really soak this up.
Yeah, soak this up in all of our random Patreon episodes that you may or may not have heard already.
I've been enjoying them. I've been circling back, but
Yeah, we still got it.
we still got it. All right,
We
well,
still got it.
we still got it, and that's how I think we should end this. So, Jordan,
Coming to a Toy Story near you, maybe.
interesting. Okay, interesting. Yeah, I guess we did talk about that. All right, well, Jordan, thank you for joining me. Listeners, thank you for listening, and I guess I should say, take care.
Take care, everybody.